Hello, so this is going to be a walking tour of Skopje here in North Macedonia. So, first over there with the blue triangle and the purple in the center, that is a university. It is SCEU, which is the Southeast European University. It's kind of a small school with about 2,000 students, with a campus here in Skopje and another one in Tetovo. And you can see some students out there walking around, but we're just going to walk right on past it and go see the rest of the city. So I am visiting here in December, and it's kind of a rainy, gloomy day, but in December it's winter time, there's not as many tourists, so not as much is going on, but it's also a lot colder. And as you're going to see, this city has a lot of different statues, and the statue up here that's coming up, I believe, is Alexander the Great, and there's another statue of him later on. And this one is just sort of holding his fist up in the air. I couldn't really tell what a lot of the statues are because the writing on them is all in Cyrillic, which I don't read at all. Um, but some of the bigger ones, it's easier to tell. But mostly I just don't know. Most of these statues were just put here in 2014 under a big renovation project. This statue has some lions and people sitting at the bottom of it. And at the top there, that is Alexander the Great. And we'll see his other statue in just a moment. Now, the area I've been in here currently is the Old Bazaar, and this bridge up here is called the Stone Bridge and is a pretty iconic bridge, and it will connect to Macedonia Square, which is sort of the city center on the other side. And this goes over the Vardar River, and I believe this bridge is pretty iconic and used in their flag and such. Coming up here is the bigger statue of Alexander the Great, of him riding on the back of a horse. And this is supposedly the largest statue of Alexander the Great in the world, although I think that Greece is trying to make one that's even bigger than this one. Now, if you don't know much about Alexander the Great, he was the king of Macedonia in around 300 BC. He was just this guy that was a great military leader, and he was undefeated in war. I think he won like 20 battles all over the place, from Persia to India and Greece. But he only lived to the age of 32, and he died from what was either an infection or poisoning, but it's really kind of just unknown what killed him. But he is definitely remembered and large in the history books. And again, this is the city center, and I'm just walking around here a little bit. I think there's a big casino up here on the right, which I tried to go in, and they said, "Oh, you need your passport," and I didn't have my passport with me, so I didn't care enough to go back and get it to see the inside. And this is just a little chocolate fountain I found inside some chocolate store. It's behind a glass cage though, so you can't really use it or touch it. Now up here there are two ships in the water, and this first one up here I believe is a restaurant that you can go in and eat on, and the second one farther down I don't think it's a restaurant, and I'm not sure if it's used for anything. It may be a hotel. I don't know. I'm not too sure. I didn't go up these. I just sort of walked past them. There used to be a third ship, but it was reportedly removed for some sort of safety reason. And I don't really know what the safety issue was. Maybe it could have fallen over and injured people, perhaps. This building with the columns across the river on the left up there has a museum on the first floor that I went into, and it's just a museum of a bunch of old artifacts, and they have a giant replication of a sarcophagus of Alexander the Great in there as well. There's a lot of statues going across this bridge up here. And that's about the end of the video. Hope you enjoyed this short little tour of the main part of Skopje.